Grandpa, why does nobody go near the seventh hut?
Because some doors are never meant to be opened.
What happens if someone opens it?
What? That is the problem.
What problem?
Nobody remembers anymore.
Father, why is that hut always locked?
Don't ask about that hut.
But why? But why?
Because our fathers feared it.
What did they fear?
Never open it! Never open it!
Why is everyone afraid?
At the edge of a small village stood 7 huts. 6 were opened every day. The 7th had remained locked for so long that nobody remembered why. Yet every child grew up hearing the same warning: never open the 7th hut. The strange part was this: not a single person could explain what would happen if they did. And that mystery would change the village forever. Long ago, surrounded by golden grasslands and ancient baobab trees, there lived a boy named Kofi. Unlike most children, Kofi loved questions. He questioned stories, he questioned customs, and sometimes he even questioned the elders. Not because he was disrespectful, he simply believed every tradition had a reason. One day, while helping his father carry supplies, Kofi walked past the 7 huts near the edge of the village. He noticed something curious. The first 6 huts were busy with activity. People entered and left throughout the day. But the 7th hut remained untouched. Its door stayed closed, its windows were sealed, and nobody ever went near it. That evening, Kofi asked his father, "Why is the 7th hut locked?" His father paused. Then he answered, "Because it has always been locked." "But why?" His father smiled awkwardly. "I don't know." That answer only deepened the mystery. Over the following months, Kofi asked everyone he could find: his mother, the village chief, the farmers, the storytellers, the elders. Every answer was the same: "We don't know. It has always been that way. The rule comes from our ancestors." The more answers he received, the more puzzled he became. How could an entire village follow a rule nobody understood? One afternoon, Kofi sat beneath a giant baobab tree with the oldest elder in the village. The elder listened patiently. Finally, he sighed. "When I was your age, I asked the same question." Kofi's eyes widened. "And what did they tell you?" "The same thing they tell you now." Kofi sat quietly. For the first time, he realized something troubling. Generations had obeyed the warning, yet the explanation had vanished. The rule survived. The reason did not. Days later, Kofi approached the hut again. As sunlight touched the weathered wood, he noticed something hidden beneath layers of age. A faded symbol. An eye surrounded by circles. He carefully copied it onto a piece of cloth. The symbol felt important, like a clue left behind by the past. Weeks later, a travelling storyteller arrived in the village. Kofi showed him the drawing. The storyteller's expression changed immediately. "The Eye of Memory," he whispered. Kofi leaned forward eagerly. "What is it?" The storyteller explained that long ago, Some communities created special places where knowledge could be preserved for future generations. Places filled with lessons, warnings, stories, and wisdom. The symbol marked those sacred locations. Suddenly, everything felt different. What if the hut wasn't hiding danger? What if it was protecting something important? That night, Kofi gathered the elders. He shared what he had learned. The village spent hours discussing the possibility. Some feared breaking tradition. Others feared remaining ignorant forever. At last, they reached a decision. The hut would be opened, but together, as a community. The next morning, the entire village gathered. Children stood beside parents. Elders stood beside farmers. Everyone watched as the oldest elder approached the door. Slowly, he removed the ancient lock. The door opened with a long creak. Silence followed. Inside was not what anyone expected. There were no curses, no monsters, no hidden dangers. Instead, rows of shelves filled the room. Ancient carvings lined the walls. Bundles of carefully preserved writings rested in wooden boxes. Maps, stories, records, lessons. As the villagers explored, they uncovered forgotten farming methods that helped crops survive drought. They found stories explaining how the village began. They discovered family histories and wisdom from leaders long gone. The more they learned, the more they understood what had happened. Their ancestors had protected the knowledge so carefully that future generations remembered the warning, but forgot the purpose. The lock remained. The meaning disappeared. In the years that followed, the seventh hut became one of the most important places in the village. Children visited to learn. Elders shared stories again. Ancient wisdom returned to daily life. And the mystery that had lasted generations finally came to an end. Not because someone broke tradition, but because someone respectfully asked a question. Listen carefully. Traditions deserve respect, but understanding them matters just as much. When people remember rules but forget their purpose, valuable wisdom can be lost. Sometimes the greatest way to honour the past is to learn why it existed in the first place. And perhaps the greatest mysteries are not the secrets hidden behind locked doors, but the truths we stop asking about. Generations of knowledge. The hut had been the village's memory,